Hey everybody, my name's Andrew, and I get to bring you today's great verse. It's found in the book of Genesis, chapter 28, verse 15. It says this, "Behold, I am with you." This is the Lord speaking to Jacob. He says, "Behold, I am with you, and will keep you wherever you go, and will bring you back to this land. For I will not leave you until I have done what I have spoken to you." Jacob has fallen into this supernatural sleep. He's taking a holy nap right now. I always find it interesting that he took a stone and used it as his pillow. Anyways, Jacob falls asleep and God meets him in this dream. And as God speaks to him, the Lord really reminds Jacob of this promise that he gave to Abraham and he gave to Isaac. So God has given this same promise now to Jacob. And the promise is that God would give them a land, there'd be a nation, and a blessing attached to that. And so the Lord is reminding Jacob that he's still working in him and will work through him. And it reminds me of what Paul said in the book of Philippians chapter 1, verse 6. He said, being confident of this very thing, that he who began a good work will be faithful to complete it in you in Christ Jesus. And so God is at work in Jacob's life right now. But what I find most fascinating about this passage right now is the best promise of them all, more than the promise of a land, the promise of a nation, the promise of a blessing, was the promise of God's presence. God promised Jacob, I am with you. And that's a present presence. God is reminding Jacob that he is currently with him. But if you look in the book of Genesis, like Genesis chapter 31, verse 3, the Lord said, I will be with you. So God is reminding Jacob of not only his present presence, but also his future presence. He says in Genesis chapter 31, verse 5, he says, the God of my fathers has been with me. And Jacob could look in his past and see God's faithfulness to be present in his life, even in the past. And so he's reminded of God's past faithfulness and his presence, his present presence, and his future presence. But I love in Genesis chapter 48, verse 21, it says, God will be with you. And Jacob was really passing on this blessing of God's presence to the next generation. And what a rad, thing that is, to pass on the promises of God to the next generation. Jesus said, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. And so be encouraged today. Know that the Lord is with you. And not only is he with you, he'll keep you as well. And so take some time, maybe recount God's past faithfulness as he's been with you. Thank him for his present presence, and then also his future presence.